Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm just a builder. I'm still working on the Enterprise here. I apologize if it's taking a little bit long. But it always was, I don't know. Maybe I'm just taking it slow. So hopefully y'all don't find this boring. So the last part we did was we masked off certain portions of the nacelle that'll be seen from the outsides, not from the insides, but the outsides, from either the left or the right side. Now this, you'll be able to see, it'll be facing on the inside of the nacelle. So, again, just making sure that the engineering section, that I didn't lose a part. There you go. Yeah, we're good here. So as for reference, I'm using this right here because I can look further into this and see it's like, okay, this needs to be painted, that needs to be painted, that sort of thing. So, what did I do? So we got that mask off. We didn't get these masks off. Yeah, I didn't paint those, but I got this underpiece, which will go underneath the Broussard collector. All painted up, in fact. The Broussard collector. Crap. I'm gonna have to spray paint that again. I had to shave off a little bit from the Broussard collector, so I'm gonna have to spray paint it again. Again, some pieces will take time. You'll have to give it a few more coats here and there. Okay, what was I gonna paint those? Now I might not show you the other nacelle part, the paint application. That's why I'm going slow with this, so that you'll be able to know where to put your paints, know what to do and everything. So I'll probably do the second one, at least the second nacelle, off screen possibly. So just so I'm not taking time doing this. Let's see here. So that's kind of what the nacelle is going to be looking like without the Broussard collector. It'll be interesting to do. Now I'm taking off the tape here. It looks pretty good. Put it up on camera. Not my face. There we go. You can kind of see it right there. But it looks pretty good. I'll reuse the tape, definitely. That looks awesome. That looks awesome. You can see it right there. You see different colors. It looks awesome, honestly. Just keep saying it looks awesome. Now, that... I think that was color C. Not my neutral gray, was my medium gray. I'll just shove some up here. There we go. Medium gray. Alright. Again, like I said, some of the stuff will be done. Not pylon. Why do I keep saying pylon? The pylon is what sticks into the nacelle and into the lower engineering hall. I should be saying the nacelle. I get my words mixed up here. I will be doing the second one off screen. Save time a little bit. Again, I'm just reusing tape from when I masked off the other two areas, so that's the other one there. Just reusing tape. If you can reuse your masking tape, that is good. Come on. Come on. We're almost there. Just a couple hours ago, I was actually looking at the 55 years of history for AMT's. Well, it was previously AMT who did this kit when they first started out. In fact, at the hobby store, I was just there today. Is that you can find is that it's still under that the it's a re-released version of it, but you can still see that it's in AMT. You can still see that the brand is still AMT. Now again, one thing about AMT is that they've been bought out so many times. I think the video I watched, you can find this on YouTube. You can just look up like something like Enterprise Model Kit AMT history, something to that effect. And actually, what was said in the video is, I guess that so AMT definitely has some good bestseller kits of that time. And in fact, I can't remember what model it was called, but their top model of that time before they came out with this kit, with the Enterprise model, that was their top seller. And when the Enterprise kit came out, the show version, that is, not the movie version, the show version, is that when that came out, that actually outsold their #1 bestseller and stuck it in second, I believe. And it sold out from the listen to the video. You can only imagine the amount of kits they sold. And I guess in that video, it was a letter sent to Gene Roddenberry, I believe. Now you can look up like Enterprise Model Kit AMT history if you want to go look at that. But in the video, he was saying someone from someone from AMT sent a letter to Gene Roddenberry saying that the kit had been that over 1 million kits had been sold, and I think the first year, or at least maybe I think the first year, and that's crazy. And that was still during the may have been still during the runtime. And funny enough is that in the video it was said that usually companies would wait to make like marketing stuff, or at least at the time, marketing or toys or kits or whatever, until like a year or two afterwards. But no, they started production while the show was still going. And in fact, it was also during the video that was said that the reruns of the show, if I'm quoting this right, reruns of the show and the selling of kits kept Star Trek alive. that is honestly some cool piece of history. Is that just by kits, memorabilia as well, and definitely reruns help keep Star Trek alive. So that is awesome. And also that kit, though the first ones that came out, though flawed in some areas, it still captured it, and it also brought it was during that time, I think after that time, I'm not sure how long, but it brought to life something called kit bashing, where you take other parts from other kits and then bash it with another set. They did that, and that also brought around people who made their own parts to be a little bit more screen accurate to the show. And then there's where Aztec decaling came from, and all that sort of thing. So there's in that video, it gave you a very, very cool history of just the AMT Enterprise version, which I think is really cool in my opinion as a Star Trek fan of Star Trek. And I believe all those kits, I believe, were the 1/1000 scale, which this one is. However, the box, it was bigger, like around that big or so. It's like, I don't know, 10 by 12 box or so, 10-inch by 10-inch by 12-inch or so. It was a lot bigger than what this box is. This box is like small. Like, there's my head. It was bigger than this. Later on, more new kits came out, but for some reason, I think at the time they had aluminum. They had aluminum molds or something. They had some type of molding. They switched over, I think, to a new material. I can't remember. But for some reason, on the older kits, you can see that there were. You can find at that hobby store. You can find an older AMT 1/1000 scale TV show Enterprise, and on that there are just 3 dimples here, here, and here. And even in that video, it says that we don't even know what's going on there. We don't know where it came from. There is a theory out there that that when parts come off the line, that they have a little bit of spruce on them. And in this case, it was indented into the mold. And another thing that also ticks some people off is that there was like a grid-like pattern on here, on those older versions. So that took builders a long time to sand down. And then after and that stayed that way, I think in the video it said, for 4 decades. For those of you who don't know, that's 40 years right there. For 40 years, it remained like that until afterwards, I think a new re-release finally did away with that and brought it to smooth. Let's see. My kit was released 3 years ago. So it would have been, I think, somewhere after 2000 or before 2000. In the video, that it was said that they finally did away with that. Finally created a smooth pattern for both the bottom and the top. It's a really interesting history. It's had its ups and downs. So it's a really, really good video. If you go find it, you can look up like I said again, look up AMT Enterprise history. I think you could find it under that. But it was a really, really cool video, and just showed that, again, that show was kept alive by people. And who was it? Actually, funny enough is that with so many kits being sold of that first AMT model, AMT actually had to go to CBS or Paramount, whoever held the rights. They had to. It's like, hey, can we get it extended? So many people are buying it up, and We need to build. We need to get out more to people. So they extended. So they did do that. So it's amazing to see that in its ups and downs of Star Trek, that of that show when it first came out, that just that show was kept alive by memorabilia, reruns, and the models, which honestly is awesome. So right now we're just painting this area. So again, there's a lot of history when it comes to these models and the show. It's really, really awesome. And I also believe that an AMT kit was used in the episode The Doomsday Machine, which was one of the episodes I watched a week or two ago or so. Alright, you made a couple minutes. Alright, this video will have to be cut short here. As soon as I finish up this painting here, I'm gonna go play some Xbox with my brother. Yeah, come on. So, like I said, if you want to know the history better than what I have explained in this video, look up AMT Enterprise History. It's a really, really great video. I highly, highly recommend it. Ever since I got back into models, I've been looking at a lot more modeling stuff. More like saving to my watch later playlist than actually watching them. So come on. And this brush is flaring out. That makes it even harder to reach the smaller areas. And actually, some people have managed to recreate that Doomsday, the USS Constellation, and its Doomsday configuration. Not only that, but also during that time, I think later on, AMT released the episode was called, I believe, the Tholian Web. It was when the Defiant was pulled into the mirror universe. You'll see that in Star Trek Enterprise in its third season, I believe. And it was actually a glow-in-the-dark kit. It could also be done. You could build it, but you could also, and the details that came with it, you could do it for both the Defiant and the Enterprise, which I believe was said was almost pulled into the other universe. So, there's your little tidbit of history for all you modelers out there. I'm sure you've also watched a lot of history behind it. Let's see. Yeah, this video will be cut short. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I'll probably go back and repaint everything just to kind of make sure that everything lines up pretty well. Again, not all models are perfect. when the early stuff came out, not everything, not all the parts were perfect. Uh, it was still molded like this, like with the teardrop area, but that part of that wasn't exactly accurate to the show. So again, when it came to kit bashing, when that first came out, that really helped a lot of modelers who really wanted to get the look of the show type. Again, all right, we're good, we're good, we're good. Not clear blue. I do have clear blue, dang it. I also went to the hobby store to also kind of look for some paints at the end there. Alrighty. We are good. We're letting that dry. Next piece will be this guy. I may or may not do it on screen. We'll see. Of the next nacelle part. So we'll see what happens. That part's still painting and still drying. Next video, we're taking that off. We're taking paint off that. We're taking the masking tape off that. We're moving to this guy next. Hope you all enjoyed this video and this little tidbit of history. Again, this is something you can look up by yourself. It is a very fun video, and it made me and even as a modeler myself, it made me very, very happy to be able to just like see the history of something that kept this franchise alive for many, many years and still going strong despite its ups and downs. It's still going to be alive for years to come, I bet you. So many other franchises have fallen off, unfortunately, but for some reason, Star Trek is still going strong. I don't know why, but the only thing I'm sure of is the fans. So, y'all enjoy, have a great day, and I will see you again next time. Peace.